This vacation home is exclusively for my parents. I won't let your parents use it." I was dumbfounded by my husband's remarks, having nonchalantly purchased $1 million vacation home. So that's what this is all about. Having learned his motives, I reached the end of my tether. "Fine, but you're going to regret this, you know." "I won't." "Don't ever show your face to me again." There he was, crossing his arms with a smug grin on his face. If that's how it is, then I won't hold back. I'll make sure he regrets it. My name is Kathy. I married my husband Robert 4 years ago, and we've been living as a couple. Neither of us have any particular hobbies, so our savings kept growing. If I had to name one indulgence, perhaps it would be brewing coffee from beans on a weekend morning. Speaking of which, your mom's birthday is coming up soon, isn't it? With a freshly brewed coffee in hand, I asked my husband. We're both in our mid-30s. Robert's parents turned 60 this year, a year ahead of my parents. How about we give them a spa retreat as a gift for their birthdays? It'd be a nice memory, don't you think? A good idea, right? When I suggested this, my husband agreed, saying, "That might be a good idea. I'll ask my parents if they want anything specific. If not, we'll give them the spa retreat. It'll kill 2 birds in 1 stone." I didn't mean it like that. "I know. Just joking. Next time I see my parents, I'll talk to them about it. Kathy, can you look up some good spas?" "I got it. How about we go on a trip too? It would be nice for a change." 2 weeks passed and my mother-in-law's birthday was fast approaching. "Hey, we need to make a reservation soon. At this rate, we won't even make it for my father-in-law's birthday. Did you talk to your parents?" In response to my hurried question, my husband answered leisurely, "Oh, did I not tell you? I've already asked their preferences, so it's fine. We don't need to book the spa retreat." Is that so? Then it's okay. But what did they say they wanted? Eager to choose a gift together, I asked that question, but my husband gave me a look that suggested he found it troublesome. "I'll handle everything. It's my parents' 60th birthday. You don't have to get involved, Kathy." I couldn't hide my surprise at Robert's words. He had never brushed me off like this before. "That's not a nice way to say it." I was getting emotional. "Why won't you tell me? We've always chosen gifts together." Every year, we had decided on gifts for each other's parents together. So why suddenly, at a significant milestone like their 60th birthday, would he say something like this? I didn't understand my husband's thinking and was frustrated. I don't like to boast, but I'm generally a mild-mannered person. I rarely raise my voice, but my husband wouldn't change his mind. In the end, Robert wouldn't tell me what his parents wanted. Since then, there's been an uncomfortable atmosphere between us, and we only communicate about necessary matters. Even when we drink coffee brewed from beans, we remain silent. The day before my mother-in-law's birthday, my husband spoke to me for the first time in a while. "We're going out tomorrow to celebrate Mom's 60th birthday, so get ready, Kathy. We're staying overnight, so be prepared for that too." When he suddenly said we were going out, I panicked. "What? Where are we going? If we're staying overnight, you should have said so earlier. I have a lot to prepare." "I just told you, didn't I? You're definitely going to be surprised." In contrast to my panic, my husband was in high spirits. The next morning, we got into the car early and went to pick up my in-laws. They were very excited from the morning. "I'm so excited. I never thought I'd get to celebrate my birthday like this. I really can't thank you enough. Right, honey?" "Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Robert, Kathy." No, happy birthday, Mom-in-law." I felt awkward because I hadn't been involved in choosing the present at all. Even when my in-laws expressed their gratitude, I could only respond vaguely. Then my husband said something. "Really, it's all thanks to Kathy." "Thanks." He was backing me up. I was really happy with my husband's consideration. We'd had been at odds recently, but it felt like we could go back to our old relationship. My gloomy feelings lifted, and I decided to enjoy the journey to our destination. We arrived at a beautiful cabin nestled in the woods. The entrance was spacious, and the living room was entirely glass, making it quite attractive. The cabin was surrounded by trees, giving it a harmonious feel with nature. There were 3 bedrooms and even a hot tub in the bath. "We're staying here? It's so lovely." I excitedly talked to my husband and apologized for my previous attitude. "I never thought Robert would choose a place like this. I don't think I could have found such a wonderful place. Leaving it to Robert was the right decision. I'm sorry, I've been so irritable lately." My excitement skyrocketed at the sight of the beautiful cabin. Then he blurted out something unexpected. "It's no biggie. If I were alone, I wouldn't have been able to buy such a cabin. It's because of Kathy that I was able to buy it." "What?" And suddenly, I was at a loss for words. "Buy? What's he talking about?" As my head was filling with questions, my in-laws joined the conversation. "Thank you so much, Kathy. We never thought we'd get such a beautiful cabin." "Right? We were thinking about setting up a new home when we turned 60 and even considering living together. But remember, we decided not to live together, right? So we were like, we'd love a cabin, and we talked to Robert about it." From the beginning of our marriage, it's true that I declined to offer to live together once. I wanted to enjoy our life as a couple, and my in-laws were still in good health, so I thought it was too early for us to live together. Robert agreed with my thoughts, and we agreed to live together when my in-laws began to have difficulty with their lives. But I never expected them to ask for a new home as a present for their 60th birthday. Especially a cabin? That was going too far. Trying to control my rising panic, I asked my husband, "Robert, this is a joke, right? There's no way we could afford to buy such a lovely cabin. What's the point in springing a surprise on me? It's mother-in-law's birthday. The surprise should be for her." "It's not a joke. This is a genuine cabin that we bought." "What?" Upon hearing my husband's reply, everything went dark before my eyes. While I was in a state of shock, he continued, "Man, it really saved us. They said I couldn't get a mortgage on my own income. It was a good decision to get a joint mortgage." "Hold on a minute. I didn't hear anything about this." "I just told you, and it's not a bad thing for Kathy, is it? You just said it was a lovely cabin. It's ours." "That's not the issue, isn't it? How much did this vacation home cost you?" My frustration aimed at him. He dropped a surprising fact. $1 million. "What? $1 million? "It was for my parents' 60th birthday. I thought we'd splurge a bit," he said. The amount was more than I could have ever imagined, leaving me dizzy. As if to add insult to injury, my husband began to spill an astonishing fact. "We couldn't get a loan for $1 million property in both our names, so I used all the money we've been saving since our marriage, the joint account, as a down payment," he confessed. "What?" By this point, I was past beyond being shocked and was just plain dumbfounded. Why could he be so selfish without even consulting me? I couldn't understand it at all. Despite my shock, my husband continued nonchalantly, "Well, it's already bought. Can't do anything about it now. Besides, I took into consideration Kathy's option of not living together. Isn't that good enough? And this vacation home, we can do whatever we want with it. Our vacation times will be more fun, won't they?" His carefree attitude was nothing short of exasperating. But now that it's come to this, there's nothing we can do. Just as Robert said, this vacation home was indeed lovely, and our holiday enjoyment would increase. Fine, it's already bought, so there's nothing to be done. But you could have at least consulted me, I muttered resignedly. At that, my husband brightened up and laughed. "That's more like it. I should have consulted you. I apologize. I wanted it to be a surprise for you too, Kathy. You're quite something, aren't you? Without my knowledge, Robert got a joint mortgage, even using our joint savings, but luckily, we don't have any big expenses coming up. I earn significantly more than Robert, and I have my own savings. Let's just accept it and think of it as a good purchase. Feeling resolved, I decided to enjoy the grand celebration for my mother-in-law's birthday party and a 2-day stay at the villa. Once home, I brewed a coffee and indulged in the memories of our villa stay. It was surprising, but the villa was really splendid. It had a wood-burning stove in the living room, which would be enjoyable in winter. Feeling happy, I spoke to Robert. Hey, when are we going back to the villa? I want to get some new dishes for the villa. Yeah, I'll check with my parents. Can't we go by ourselves? Well, the villa is technically in our names, but it was a present for my parents' 60th anniversary. It'd be wrong if they had plans, right? I had a bad feeling. Even though it's in our names, I thought it might practically become my in-laws' property. I quickly suggested, as it's our villa, we can invite my parents too, right? Yeah, if they're available. He answered non-committally, but he didn't refuse. That's a relief. The villa won't become my in-laws' property. But that was too optimistic. For the past 6 months, I'd not been allowed to stay at the villa once. I go there, but I can't stay overnight. I drop my in-laws off at the villa, am made to prepare food, and then have to return home. The next day, I pick them up from the villa, clean up, and drive them back. It's been like this for 6 months. Despite my many complaints, Robert always has some excuse and sometimes even yelled at me. But today, I'm not giving up, because soon it will be my parents' birthday. Hey, Robert, my father's birthday is in 2 months. We can invite them to the villa, right? It's our villa. I emphasized our villa and appealed to Robert. But his reply was the same as always. If my parents don't have plans. That again? It's always the same. We haven't stayed at the villa once in the 6 months since we bought it. It's always your parents who get priority. It's our villa. We should be the priority. Plus, I'm also paying the mortgage and the down payment. My parents should be able to stay too. Today, I'm not backing down. I put my foot down more than usual. Then Robert frowned, replied like this. Shut up. That vacation house is for my parents only. I won't let your parents use it. I suppose that was part of your plan all along, wasn't it? No wonder you bought the vacation house without telling me. The tolerance I had shown until now snapped in my heart, making a sound as if something had broken. I'll never forgive you. Don't think you can get away with such selfish behavior. I proposed the following to my husband. Fine, if that's how it is. I won't hold back any longer. Let's get a divorce. What the hell? You're such a petty woman. Well, whatever. I'm quite appreciated by my parents for buying that vacation home, and I'm sure my mom would do the housework. I won't be in trouble at all without you. Of course, if we're getting a divorce, I won't let you use that vacation house. Still okay with you? My husband had a triumphant look on his face, crossing his arms with satisfaction. I felt pathetic for falling for such a man's smooth talk, but it's too late to regret now. All that's left is to get my revenge. I lowered my voice and put pressure on my husband. You sure? You're going to regret it? Like hell I will. Fine, it's settled then. Don't ever show up in front of me again. The next day, I filed for divorce. It was accepted without issue, and I decided to head back to my parents' house on foot. The call from Roberts to my parents' house came a few months later. When I answered the phone, he was in a panic. Is that you, Kathy? What do you want at this point? We have nothing left to talk about. In response to my cold reply, he shouted back frantically, I tried to call your cell phone. Why didn't you pick up? Some persons claiming to be your lawyer came to my house today. Hey, this is something you asked for, right? Can you explain it properly to me? You don't understand? What don't you understand? It's exactly as the lawyer said. Since we're divorced, I don't intend to pay the mortgage. If you don't comply, I'm considering selling the vacation house. That's all. But that vacation house is in both our names. Even if we're divorced, it's only natural for you to keep paying the mortgage, right? To my ex-husband, who was at his wit's end, I calmly stated, despite being in both our names, I'm not allowed to use it, right? So why do I have to keep paying the mortgage? That's what doesn't make sense to me. Oh, no, but it's a shared property, right? You should be the one paying. This is going nowhere. That's why I asked a lawyer. If you're going to insist on your point of view, I'm hanging up. If there's anything else, please contact my lawyer. I don't have time to talk to this unreasonable man. I have my own business to take care of. Oh, hold on, wait up. I messed up. Let's use the vacation house alternately, okay? That should be fine, right? You're saying keep paying the mortgage and I'll let you use it in turns. I got no attachments to that vacation house anymore. After all, I already bought a new one. Wait, what? Yes, I gifted the vacation house to my parents for their 60th birthday. It's not exactly $1 million estate, but a cozy cottage that they love. Are we done here? I don't have time to be chit-chatting with you. Hold on, please. I quit my job. I know that. What? It was probably my father who caused it, wasn't it? My father is an executive in a top-tier company. He has many acquaintances, presidents, and executives of other companies. Robert's company president was one of them. Angry at Robert's treatment toward me, my father must have talked to Robert's company president about it. How can we have such a person in our company? The president expressed his anger. I don't know the details from there, but I had heard that Robert chose to resign on his own. I'm sure Robert's company president did something behind the scenes, considering the future. Hey, help me out. Robert pleaded with a tear-choked voice. I've started receiving contemptuous looks from my coworkers. I chose to quit. I found a new job, but the salary is less than before. I can't keep up with the mortgage payments on my own. Your father is the cause, right? Then isn't it his responsibility to continue paying the mortgage? He's so self-centered. How much further will he go to satisfy himself? I was at my limit with his selfish comments. Sure, my father might have caused you to quit your job, but the one who created the initial cause was you, Robert, wasn't it? Don't twist it to suit your narrative. You're the one who's wrong for touching our shared property because you wanted to look good to your parents. You've brought this on yourself. I didn't think it would turn out like this. You reap what you sow. I hope you suffer in the depths of mortgage hell, you selfish jerk. Wait, please. I heard his desperate cry, but I hung up the phone without waiting. In the months following, I negotiated through a lawyer and finally got out of the mortgage for that vacation house. In the end, Robert couldn't continue paying the mortgage on his own, and the vacation house seemed to be sold. Because the property's value had decreased, it seemed Robert had ended up in debt. Even his in-laws were flabbergasted, and he is reportedly living a ragged life in a cheap apartment now. His parents, too, are now the talk of the neighborhood for losing the vacation house they were always boasting about. On the other hand, I'm leading a busy, fulfilling days as the vice president of my father's company. Now the happiest times are when the three of us visit the vacation house on our days off and relax with a cup of coffee.